Hey guys, today I'm filming a Q&A video. I asked you guys to leave me some questions on an Instagram post and on a couple YouTube videos, and I was really surprised with how many responses I got. So I wanted to thank each and every one of you so much for leaving me questions, and I wanted to thank all of you for watching this video. I haven't really done a Q&A on my channel before because I wasn't really sure if you guys would be interested in things about my personal life, but I'm really appreciative of everything that you asked me, and I tried filming this yesterday. It was a complete hot mess. I have so many questions. I decided to organize them, and I'm going to split this up into two videos. So today is going to be part one, where I answer all of your questions about makeup, and then my next video is going to be part two, where I talk about YouTube, my relationship with my husband, grad school, and then just random things about my personal life and just like my favorite things and whatnot. What's even more exciting about this video is that I'm going to be doing a giveaway for you guys. This is going to be a 2-winner giveaway. Unfortunately, this is US only, and the rules are really simple. You have to be 18 or older. If you're younger than 18, you just need your parents' permission to give me your address. You need to be subscribed to my channel, and you need to leave me only one comment just on this video, giving me a video suggestion, and also leaving me either your Twitter or Instagram handle so I can contact you if you win and ask for your address. That is the easiest way I found for me to contact other people. So I will have all the rules in the description box. Hopefully it is simple enough, and good luck to everyone that enters. This will be open for 2 weeks. I will have the final end date in the description box as well. So I'm going to show you all of the prizes right now at the beginning of the video, and then I will get on to the Q&A. So I have 2 different goodie bags here, and a lot of these products are things that I have received in PR or different things I've gotten as free gift of purchase or from Sephora Play. So I did want to be upfront with you. I didn't purchase all of these things myself, but these are all brand new and untouched. And the giveaway prizes will be given out randomly, so hopefully you guys will be okay with either prize. So here's everything in the first giveaway prize. I have a couple foil packet samples. Then I have the Pixie and Dulce Candy lip and cheek palette and their multi-face palette. I have the Pixie Lash Line Ink, which is a felt tip liquid liner, the Pixie Eye Define Waterline, which is a black pencil, the Endless Silky Eye Pen in a purple color, this Clinique double-ended lash primer and high impact mascara, a little mini Lancome Monsieur Big mascara, this Pixie sheer cheek gel in the shade Flush, which is the deeper color, Pixie gel tint and silk gloss in their deep color. I have 2 shades of the My Little Pony glitter lip gloss toppers, more of a clear color and a hot pink. I have a matte luster lipstick from Pixie, one of their Shea Butter lip balms, a mini Sephora red lipstick, and a mint polish, and a shimmery fuchsia cranberry color. Both of these are from Julie G. So this is everything for giveaway prize number 1. And this is giveaway prize number 2. I also have some foil samples in this one. I have the NYX Happy Birthday palette. It's untouched, but I wanted to show you the colors. It's very similar to the Master Palette by Mario. The Pixie and Aspen Ovard Glowy Powder in Rome Rose, which is similar to NARS Orgasm Blush. Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen in a navy shade. I have this Pixie and Whaley Dual Ended Liner. That is a felt tip liquid liner and a black pencil liner. The Pixie Large Lash Mascara, a mini Benefit They're Real mascara. 2 polishes from Julie G. One that is a lilac and this shimmery orangey red color. I have the medium shade of the cheek gel and the medium shade of the gel tint and silk gloss. I have the Pixie Chloe Morello lip icing, which is just like a shimmery gloss, and then one of the pure My Little Pony glitter lip gloss toppers in an orange shade. Then I have one of the Pixie matte luster lipsticks, a Laura Mercier mini lipstick, and an Urban Decay mini lip gloss. And that is everything for giveaway prize number 2. So now jumping into the Q&A, starting with the makeup questions. If you could only keep 3 eyeshadow palettes, which ones would you choose? And this was actually really hard for me. because I love so many of my palettes, and I didn't choose any of my custom made palettes because it didn't seem very fair. I wanted to choose palettes that you could actually buy from the store. The first palette I would choose is the Juvia's Place Masquerade Mini palette. I really like this because you have some great warm neutrals and some brights, and I would like to have at least some brights in my collection. I did film an entire palette of the month review video on this. I will have it linked up above, and this is my favorite palettes because it really challenged me creatively, and I came up with so many beautiful looks that I absolutely love. The other palette I would have to have for sure is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I really like these two cool tone colors, and I love all of the warm shades in this palette. I love the formula of those, and they work so well for me, so I would have to keep that palette. And then the third one was really hard, and I actually am going to be cheating and giving you a fourth palette. If like literally my entire palette collection went away and I could only keep 4, I'll let you know what those would be. But this is number 3. This is the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. I haven't used this one in a little while, but I absolutely love it. These colors are amazing for me in the winter, and they really flatter my green eyes and fair skin. And I don't want to have just warm tones, so this would be my winter palette. And then for this fourth bonus palette, if I could choose a fourth, I feel weird that I'm picking this because I haven't used it a ton, but I really love the formula and the colors a lot. And that would be the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. Out of all the different warm tone palettes I have, besides Modern Renaissance, this has my favorite colors of warm tones. I like this one better than the Yes Please palette from ColourPop. Even though I really enjoy that one, I really like these shades a lot, and the formula is really nice. So I would pick the other 3 first, but if I could sneak in a fourth palette, I would pick this one. And then I had another comment asking me if I could only have one eyeshadow palette for the rest of my life, what would it be? And out of all of those, if I could only pick one, it would be the Modern Renaissance palette, because 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna wanna wear a warm tone look. But if I want a cool tone look, like I said, I love these 2 shades. I don't like Antique Bronzer Warm Taupe very much, but these 2 right here are beautiful, and I think I can create a really nice look with just those 2 shades. My next question was, what are your top 3 drugstore lippies? And this was actually pretty easy for me, but when I was looking through my lip product collection, I was surprised how many more high-end items I had over drugstore items. But my top 3 would be the ColourPop Lippy Pencils. I think this line is incredible as a lip liner, but I also like using these as a lipstick. I'm actually wearing one today as a lipstick with a gloss on top, and this is in the shade Aquarius, which is my absolute perfect nude. And these are in no particular order. These are just my top 3. The next one would be the Revlon Super Lustrous lipstick in the shade Primrose. This is such a wonderful, comfortable cream formula, and it has a really nice opacity. It's a beautiful wearable blue tone pink. I've actually used up one completely and repurchased it, so that would be another favorite. And my last favorite would be the NYX Butter Glosses. I've had so many shades over the years, and these are my 3 favorite. Creme Brulee is a peachy nude, Maple Blondie is a bright peachy pink, and Meringue is a very bright blue tone pink. So those are my 3 favorite shades, but I love this gloss formula in general. It is super smooth. It has a light medium opacity. It isn't the longest lasting, but it's not sticky. It's super easy to reapply. So out of all of my drugstore lippies, these would definitely be my top 3. My next question was, what are your top 3 foundations? And I would have to choose the Estee Lauder Double Wear and the Hard Candy Glamouflage foundation in Porcelain. I really love these 2 mixed together. This is my all-time favorite foundation combination. Gives amazing medium buildable to full coverage. The color matches me really well. I love both of these formulas on their own, but mixed together they are absolutely amazing. So those would definitely be my top 2. And then my third foundation, I had to think about it for a little bit, but what I would choose is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation. I have the shade Snow, but they just released a lighter shade Swan, which matches me even better. This is a little too peachy. So whenever I use this up, which will be probably a while from now, I would definitely love to repurchase the shade Swan. But this is a very nice mattifying foundation, and a lot of foundations that claim to be matte don't actually look matte on my skin, but this one does. Unfortunately, this just has medium coverage and it can't really be built up to full, which is a bummer. It's the only negative about this foundation, is that I cannot build it to full coverage, but I really love the formula and the way this wears. So this would be my third favorite foundation. My next question is, what are your top 3 face primers? And if you guys have seen my makeup collection, or you really see my hauls, you know I have a ton of mini face primers, and that's because I love trying out new ones. I never really want to spend the money on a full-size face primer. And I had a hard time picking 3 favorites. My number 1 favorite is definitely the Dr. Brandt Pores No More. I used to love the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer, but this one is better. The Smashbox can sometimes ball up on my skin. This one doesn't. It's so thin, but it fills in my pores so nicely. It works with all other primers and moisturizers. So this is definitely my number 1. So then I wanted to pick a mattifying primer, but that was really hard for me because the ones that mattify really well tend to ball up on my skin. They make my makeup look a little bit cakey and patchy. And then there are other mattifying primers that don't mattify me as well, but they feel really great on my skin and my makeup looks better. So if I had to choose, I would pick the ones where my makeup looks better, and if I use other mattifying products and I touch up, I'm good. So those kind of primers that I like would be the Too Faced Primed and Peachy and the Cover FX Mattifying Primer. The Cover FX has a little bit more silicone in it, but I think those are both really nice. And then like a basic silicone primer that actually does not feel very slippery and thin. It has a little bit of a thickness to it and it's really creamy. It's something newer that I've tried, the Ordinary High Adherent Silicone Primer. I'm enjoying that one. And then for a glowy primer that actually works with oily skin, the best one I've tried is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. But honestly, out of all of those I just mentioned, none of those are must-haves except the Dr. Brandt. So I wanted to mention a couple options of ones that I do like, but I wouldn't call them favorites. I think the only thing that deserves to be called a favorite is the Dr. Brandt. The next question is, what is your favorite makeup category? And this has changed so much throughout the years, but I would say currently my favorite makeup category would be eyeshadow. I think as much as I love blush, even though they might look different in the pan, they all look so similar on my cheeks, but eyeshadows look really different and you can have so many more unique colors that you can wear. I cannot wear a blue blush. I mean, I could, but that would look crazy. So I love eyeshadow because there's so many more different types and formulas and colors that I can play with. Next question is, do you think setting sprays ever make a difference in makeup lasting power? And no, I have tried several different setting sprays and I have never found a difference in the way that my makeup wears. MAC Fix Plus is nice to take away any powdery look and I like the way it feels on my skin, but I've never found a setting spray that's actually made a difference in the longevity of my makeup. Next question is, if you could only have one loose powder to set your face with, which one would you choose? And this was really hard. I love my face powders so much. I love the Laura Mercier loose powder, but that's so expensive. I wouldn't want that to be my only powder. And I love the Too Faced Peach Perfect a lot, but it oxidizes on me and I have to mix it with something else. So therefore, my other favorite powder would be the Maybelline Fit Me Loose. I use the shade 5 Fair. This I've not really used under my eyes. I just use it to set my entire face. It does a great job, gives me good coverage. It mattifies me a bit and it just looks so nice on my skin. So the other ones are too expensive or like too finicky, and this is something I can use on its own and it works really well. So that is the powder I would have to choose. The next question is, what is your favorite color of eyeshadow to wear on your eyes? I love warm tones on me. I really love coppers, but I especially love olives with my fair skin, my blonde hair, my green eyes. And this is MAC Sumptuous Olive, and this one is my absolute favorite. I love this color. This is my very first eyeshadows in general, but definitely my very first MAC eyeshadow, but I really love the way that olive looks on me. Then I have a couple questions about project panning. This question says, how do you keep yourself from getting bored of the same products you're using in project pans? I'm finding it a struggle to try to work through products after a while. And I think there are a lot of different factors that can play into this. I'm very particular when I'm choosing the items for my project pans. And also I like doing my projects seasonally, and I'm choosing items I would use during that season typically, and also my project pans only run for 3 months. So for my project pans, I always add in complexion products and I don't mind using the same ones every single day. And this year I've also started adding in eyeshadows and lip products into each of my projects, and that is where I can get bored of those. So usually what I will try to do is during the work week, I'll wear my project pan eyeshadows, and then on the weekends I will film usually, so I'll want to wear different eyeshadows. So I will pull for other palettes or my palette of the month shadows or different things from my makeup baskets. So I would say if you can wear your project pan items about 4 times a week, and then the other days allow yourself to just have fun with your other makeup. Next question says, I would love to know how and why you got into panning and just your overall thoughts on panning, tips for beginners, and a way not to get frustrated. So I definitely want to do a whole series about panning, but I don't want to put off this question until then because who knows how long that will take me to get to. But I got into panning because I'd started watching a couple different people. I think the first people I started watching were Cherish from Pretty Pistol 87, 86. I always get it wrong. I started watching Amber F, Meg's Makeup 8, Anya Marie. Those are the very first people I started watching in project pans. And then of course, like in the suggested videos, a ton of different channels popped up. And I first started out with a year-long project pan, which was really easy to do because I had a whole year to work on products. And then I had started my very first seasonal challenge as the Finish 4 by 4th of July, which was created by Amber F. I gave myself 3 months to use the products and I only chose 4 items. So that was a really easy way to start. And I think one of the most helpful things is if you can track your progress and keep up on updates. If you just do an intro and a finale, you are not going to be as on top of using your items most likely, and it isn't as fun as doing updates. Like I get really excited to show you guys my progress every month. And if you don't have a channel, if you have an Instagram and you keep track of your progress on there, that can be really helpful. Or even just for yourself, if you are marking the items and you have a goal, the first of every month is when you're going to update and physically track your progress. I think that can be really motivating. And if you have been slacking on your items, it can be a little kick in the pants of like, oh, I need to start using this more. Also, the items that you choose, I think makes a big difference in the success of your projects and how much fun you're going to have in them. Now, there are a lot of different opinions on whether you should try to pan products you hate. And for me, that depends on how long it's going to take me. I'm not going to pan an eyeshadow that I hate because I would rather just pass that on to somebody else because I'm going to be frustrated with my makeup every day. I'm not going to pan a lipstick that I hate, but I will pan a face powder, concealer, or eyebrow pencil I don't like because those are easy for me to go through. And when you are doing projects, I recommend putting in items that you're almost done with, like products that have less than half in them, items that are deluxe size samples. Putting in easier items mixed with some more difficult, challenging items I think is a good idea. Also, I do not recommend trying to finish up a bronzer, blush, or highlighter completely because those take a very long time. But if you have a goal of hitting pan on a blush, but the same for eyeshadows. Eyeshadows take a really long time to work through as well. So if you just make a goal of hitting pan instead of a goal of using it up completely, I think that can be a great idea. And you can always change your goals as you go along. There are times where I say I just want to hit pan on an eyeshadow, and then if I feel like I'm working through it, I will change my goal to I want to use it up completely. Another thing I would recommend is pick products you can wear all together to create a full look. That way, multiple days a week, you can wear all of your project pan items at once. I wouldn't necessarily recommend doubling up on a category. Like recently this year, I have added maybe 2 lip products in a project pan, but it's hard to focus on them at the same time. So I would recommend like 1 foundation, 1 concealer. You can do a couple eyeshadows because you need a couple eyeshadows to create a look, but don't try to put 2 foundations in a project at the same time because it's going to be hard to make progress on both of them. But what you can do that I often do in project pans is I will use 1 item, and a lot of times, for instance, with my deluxe size face primers, I might finish it early in the project, so then I will replace it with another one, but I don't add 2 at the beginning. And the reason I got into project panning is because I thought the videos were so fun, and it felt like a little personal goal. Like, I want to hit pan on an eyeshadow. I want to finish up my foundations. I have a ton of face powders. Let's work through them. Also, I wanted to say that I am someone that project pans who is not a minimalist, whose goal is not to have a small collection. So there is some differences with that in the panning community. I do still film a haul every single month, and I do still bring a lot of items into my collection. But for me, that does not defeat the purpose of project panning. Like, I'm still working through my items. If I'm gonna bring in, 20 items a month, I would like to bring in 20 items and finish 6 instead of just bringing in products. So also keeping in mind for yourself that progress is progress. Even if you don't finish up something in a project pan, you probably got more use out of the item than you would have if you never put it in the project to begin with. So do not be too hard on yourself, because after you do your first couple projects, you'll get in the hang of things and you'll realize how quickly or how slowly you run through certain products, and that will help you decide what items you will include in the future. My next question says, what product, beauty or otherwise, that was less than $100 had the most positive impact on your life? So for this question, I did decide to pick a makeup product, and this is a really hard thing for me because I don't know if I have that deep of a connection with any of my makeup products, but the item I ultimately chose was my MAC custom eyeshadow palette, and some of these shadows I do have in this little Z palette for the summertime. But the reason I chose this is because this is something I started buying when I first got into makeup, and when I didn't, get all of these gifts from friends and PR and buy tons of products every month. I didn't really have the money when I first started out. So I would buy one MAC eyeshadow at a time or ask for it for a gift. And this is when MAC was very popular. And it was so exciting to me to build this palette. When I finally finished this palette, it was like the most exciting thing ever. And I still really love and cherish my MAC eyeshadows. My very first one was Sumptuous Olive, which I showed you earlier. And my other shadows that I got first would be Stars and Rockets and Shimmer Moss, which has been discontinued, but these are two beautiful brights, and I had so much fun with makeup. This is when I really first started getting into makeup. The application was terrible, but I had so much fun. And I still have a lot of fun with makeup, but it was really like this time period with these particular products that I was the most excited, more creative. I loved more colorful looks, and it was just a really fun time where I was discovering the thing that I'm the most passionate about. The next question is, what are one or two of your most sentimental beauty products? Things that you'll never get rid of because they bring back happy memories. And I don't really tie memories to makeup necessarily, so of course I wanted to pick different products than I chose for the last question. So my first product would be Benefit Coralista Blush. This is one of the first items that Justin ever bought for me. He bought this my first birthday after we started dating, and it's really funny because we were at Ulta. I did not have an Ulta near me. He lives in Richmond, and that's where we went, and I was so excited to be at Ulta for the first time, and I was running around the store telling him about all these products, and they had Benefit Coralista Blush, which Benefit box blushes were very popular back in 2011, and I wanted this so bad. And I hinted to him like 20 times in the store that like, oh, look at that blush. Isn't it so beautiful? I think that would look really great on me. That's something I've always wanted. Here, smell it. See what it smells like. It's so cool. Like, I was going on and on. And then I happened to get this from him for my birthday, and he was like, bet you didn't think I would get you this. I was paying attention. And I just like let him like believe it. Like, he came up with this himself. And then later on I was like, I tricked you, sucker. And so it's just like really special to me because it is one of the first gifts that Justin ever got for me, and he has got me so much more makeup since then, but this is one of the very first products, and as you can see, I've hit pan. It is one of the older blushes in my collection, but I always think of that time, and unfortunately, there are many more times I've tricked him into buying me makeup that he didn't realize until a little later. I got a gift. What can I say? I can use it for evil or use it for good. And the other item I would have to choose is the Anastasia Master Palette by Mario. And if you guys followed me on my channel when this was out, I talked so much about how I went all over the place trying to find this, and there were opportunities I had to get this and I chose not to, and really regretted it. Everybody was talking about this in their yearly favorites. People were going crazy over this, and I wanted it so bad, and I finally gave up. I was never going to get it. And then one of my amazing friends and subscribers, Christine, reached out to me, said she never used her palette, and she offered to send it to me for free. I could not believe her generosity. Who am I that she had to give this to me? Like, she could have sold it to me. She could have kept it for herself. She could have given it to someone else. The fact that she gave this to me means so much, and I will cherish this palette forever. Like, I cannot believe that I have this in my hands. Like, every time I see this palette, I think of Christine. I think of her very kind heart and how generous she is and how much I wanted this palette. So this is something that will always hold a special place in my heart, as will Christine. And the next question might be one of my absolute favorites. It says, if you ever had the opportunity to create a makeup product, what would it be, which color and formula? So my friend Jean and I have talked about this a couple times. We would love to create a brand together, and the very first item we would make would be foundation. And you guys might be like, oh really? Like, that's kind of boring. And that's because Jean and I are very fair and very yellow, and it extremely difficult to find foundations that match us. Foundations are too dark, too pink, too peach. It is very difficult to find a perfect match. I also love very full coverage foundations, and I like a matte finish because I am super oily. So I would love to be able to create a foundation range that had like 75 shades. And I would love to find models or people that I know or people on the streets that I could say like, hey, can I please take your picture? Can I get your contact information so I can try to perfectly match your skin tone? And then I would love to create like foundation charts comparing it to other shade ranges. I think that is so helpful whenever I see those for a new foundation. I would also love to come up with liquid foundations, powder foundations, and find ones that are light, medium, full coverage that have dewy, natural, and matte finish. I don't know if you can have a full coverage foundation with a dewy finish. I guess so. The Makeup Forever Stick Foundation is really dewy but really full. So I would love to create like the biggest foundation line ever with the most colors, the most formulas. That would definitely be the #1 thing that I would love to create, and really complexion products in general. My next question says, what is the first makeup product you owned, and what was the first makeup product you saved up for and splurged on? So the first product I owned is kind of hard to remember, but I'm pretty sure that if you guys have seen, maybe Kohl's, but definitely Walmart around the holidays will have those like no-name makeup kits, and they're not like kids makeup, they're for like teens or young adults. And I think it was the brand The Color Workshop, and there was a little eyeshadow quad maybe, or maybe it was a duo, but the colors I used out of it were the baby pink and silver, and I used them both on my eyes every single day. Yes, silver and baby pink. And then I think I eventually started using like some Maybelline quads and stuff. I specifically remember that in middle school, rocking that, so disgusting. And the first makeup product I saved up to buy, I'm having a really hard time remembering that because most of the things that I spent my money on when I started were drugstore, and then I asked for high-end things for Christmas. But I think I remember at the very beginning of my YouTube, I had seen a video maybe from Holly Ann Marie about a benefit set that included the Hoola bronzer, the High Beam liquid highlighter, the Gilded eye and cheek pen, and the Bad Gal brown mascara. Well, I certainly wish I saved my money and just bought the Benefit Hoola bronzer because the other items are not good. But like in 2011, people were raving about the Benefit cheek tints and High Beam, even though like nobody ever used them, except it was like a natural no makeup look. Like nobody ever used them and liked them. And out of all of those things, the only thing I would recommend would be the Benefit Hoola bronzer, but it was the first bronzer I really had and loved. I have used one up, repurchased, and hit pan on again. Like, so as far as I can remember, that is the first high-end thing that I got. The next question says, have you had any interesting fashion or makeup phases? And for fashion, I am like not a fashionable person at all, but I remember, I think maybe middle school or beginning of high school, skulls were my thing. Yes, skull earrings, skull scarf, skull shirts, like skulls. I think it was around the time Pirates of the Caribbean was out, and Claire's and other brands were really like doing the thing with the skulls clothes. So that's what I was wearing a lot of, and like weird. And I also remember a phase where I was really into owls, and I had like a bunch of different owl necklaces and earrings, and I don't even really wear jewelry. I used to though. I used to wear dangly earrings every day. Now I wear studs every day, but they're like different little like accessory phases that I have gotten into. And for makeup, I used to only wear colorful shadow. I thought browns were hideous and boring. And I used to never use a blending shadow. I thought, why would you blend? Because it's gonna dust away all this amazingness and your shadow's gonna be too bland. When I look back at my old videos, it is puke worthy to see my eyeshadow, my eyebrows, like absolutely terrible. I mean, I'm still not a winner today, but I have improved, thank the Lord. And I do remember a time specifically freshman year in college, we made tie-dye shirts, and I said, Heather, you know what would look great with that tie-dye shirt? Tie-dye eyeshadow, of course. So I had the Manly Pro Palette 120, which is basically like a 120 BH Cosmetics or Coastal Scents palette, and I put hot pink, yellow, green, blue, purple, orange, like just like packed it on beside each other in the crease, like a mess. A mess. I would have no idea how to work all those shadows into a look, but you know I didn't blend them. So I am still very tacky, matchy. I have a really hard time figuring out how to match my eyeshadow to my clothes unless it's literally the same color or I'm just wearing a black shirt. Like today is like the most like matchy I've gotten without matching too much, like warm eyes, camo shirt. Like I think this works okay, but in general I am still as tacky as I was before. I can just blend my eyeshadow a little better. The next question says, your nails look so healthy and beautiful. What is your secret? And I don't have one. I am very blessed with my genetics that my nails grow very long, very quickly, but my nails are very fragile. So they do break pretty easily. This nail broke when I shut the car door. I didn't shut the car door on me. I just happened to like flick my nail against the door and it was just like broke right off. And when my nails break, they break down at the base where the meat is. So then I have all these really nice long nails and this freaking stubber. And I'm not going to cut them all down because this one girl decided to just leave the whole pack here. No, no, no. But for me, in order for my nails not to break, I have to keep them painted at all times. I am not someone that can let my nails breathe because if that happens, they will break. And that's probably not the best thing for your nails, but it is what works for me, but I don't want to recommend that necessarily. The next question says, have you ever thought about going cruelty free? I know you love MAC and Maybelline and all those drugstore brands, so it would be a huge change. And I have thought about it. My friend Amanda is cruelty free, and I am so selfish in the fact that I cannot give up MAC and Maybelline. And the thing is, I'd be okay not buying any more MAC products ever again, but I would never get rid of the MAC items I have. And the MAC blushes I have would literally last me for the rest of my life, but it kind of feels like cheating. Like my MAC eyeshadows, my MAC blushes would last forever. I can do without my other MAC complexion products, even though I love them. I could do without them as long as I could keep the things I have now. So I could not buy MAC ever again and be okay. And for Maybelline though, Maybelline is truly one of my favorite drugstore brands. They're always coming out with new things, and I have so many staple products. Maybelline Falsies mascara, the Colossal Cat Eyes mascara. I love the Total Temptations brow pencil, their shadows, color tattoos. I have so many things from Fit Me, pressed powder, loose powder, the Better Skin powder. There are so many things from Maybelline that are holy grails to me that I'm sure I could find alternatives for, but I know this is so selfish and like not fair to the animals, but I don't know if I could give up Maybelline. But you know, maybe I would get to some point where I feel like, no, Heather, let's sit down, let's do some research, let's try to find other products in your collection that are cruelty free to replace your Maybelline things. Because luckily for me, most of the other brands I buy from, drugstore and high-end, are cruelty free. So many brands are. The next question says, do you think you could ever stop trying new products because you're content with your collection? I don't think so. And if I stopped making YouTube videos and I stopped watching YouTube videos, then I think I could resist it. I probably would try to keep myself from going to the drugstore and Ulta and Sephora so much. And I would only buy products if I needed to replace something that I used up and didn't have another item in my collection I could use for it. Like for instance, if I only had one face powder and used it up, I would have to repurchase that. But honestly, I don't ever see that happening. And I'm not gonna say I'm buying products so I can review them for you, because people that say that might be honest, but also they're buying it because they want it, not just for reviews. Or if it's for reviews, it's to get views and make money. So it's annoying to me when people say that, but no, I don't see that ever happening, that I would be content with my collection, which is a shame. And because I'm a project painter, I feel like there should be some point where I'm content with my collection, and I would like to spend less ideally, but I can never see myself stop buying makeup and only using what I have. Even though my collection right now has everything I could ever need, but it doesn't have everything I could ever want. And this is the only thing I spend my money on. So short story long, no, I never really see that happening. And my very last makeup question says, what is your favorite makeup product of all time if you can only pick one brand and one single product? I cannot pick. I sat here and tried to think about it, and it's just like I have so many things that I love equally. Like I have a Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder, the Glamouflage foundation, Estee Lauder foundation, my Anastasia eyeshadows. Like I love the Modern Renaissance palette, but it's not my #1 favorite product in my whole collection. I feel like a turd that I'm not answering this, but I literally cannot just pick one item.